All right, so I just got back from watching Gladiator 2, the sequel to the first Gladiator movie, which came out about 24 years ago. I think it came out in 2000. A movie that's as old as me, believe it or not. So I'm a big fan of the first Gladiator movie. I didn't watch it growing up, I guess. I watched it for the first time when I was like a teenager, like 16, 15, around that age. So I did see it younger, but not super young. But I do love that movie. I think it's a great movie. It's got great drama, great action, great character moments. Just really well done. So, it's one of those movies that you don't really think should get a sequel, but, Hollywood likes money. Gladiator's a popular movie, so we're going to get a sequel. And here it is, directed once again by Ridley Scott, who directed the first movie. And this movie's a bit of a mixed bag for me. I do like it, but it is not as good as the first one by a long shot. And the main reason why is I don't really feel like they had a really good idea for this movie. They just kind of made it. And what I mean by that is the actual plot and the stuff that happens in this movie is almost exactly the same as the first movie. Some very similar characters, very similar things happen to them, and things play out in a very similar way to the first movie. And thankfully, things such as the action and the performances kind of, distract you from that, so you don't really focus on it. And things are different enough, almost. But there were a lot of times where I was watching stuff happen, and I go, well, this happened in the first movie, and so this is probably going to happen next, right? And then lo and behold, what I thought was going to happen happened. And I was a little disappointed because I didn't feel like I was watching anything original. It reminded me a little bit of the Mary Poppins sequel that came out a couple years ago, where I really, really hated that movie a lot. Not as much as this one. But I do have similar issues with those two movies, where I felt like Mary Poppins Returns was a remake in disguise. Just the same stuff is happening in this movie that happened in the first movie, and it wasn't really an original story. It's very similar here, where Gladiator 2 is almost a remake of the first movie, where just the same stuff happens, and there's the same character arcs, and the overall goal of this movie is the same overall goal of the first movie. And so it feels like hasn't been a lot of development in this world between the two movies. So I'm not as emotionally invested as I was in the first movie because I've seen all this before. So I feel like this movie would have been a lot better if they came up with some sort of new original idea. And I get it, it's a sequel to Gladiator. You gotta do Gladiator stuff. But if you could think of a different reason for the Gladiator stuff to happen than just the same sort of stuff as the first time, that would be a lot more interesting in my opinion. But I've been mostly negative. I did say I like it, and the reasons why I liked it is because this is the sort of movie that's kind of for me. I do like the sword and sandals. I love historical epics and the action scenes, the battles, all that is really cool. I really liked it, even if some of it is a bit improbable. I still enjoyed it, and the acting is all really good. Standouts for me were Pedro Pascal and Denzel Washington. Paul Mescal is good too. He really does. It's a very physical role, and he plays that physicality of the role very well. But Denzel is always great. You can, like, even if he's in a bad movie, he's really good in it. And Pedro Pascal was kind of up there for me as well. Just every time Pedro Pascal shows up, I'm like, I like this actor. So yeah, that's Gladiator 2. A bit of a mixed bag. I liked it, but if people hate it, I understand why. It's not as good as the first one, but if this is your thing, I'd say go check it out in theaters. You might be interested. So yeah, Gladiator 2 is in theaters right now. You can go ahead and check it out.